People of Reddit, what terrible path in life no one should ever take. Serious. My mom has been divorced with my dad since I was 2 and hasn't been married since. Unfortunately, she just gets into a relationship as soon as she can with anyone for the sake of just wanting to be with someone. I understand that she doesn't want to be lonely. But seriously, she is terrible at dating. I've actually learned a thing or two from her because I notice things she did wrong. Like only do stuff she wanted to do and never do stuff he wanted to. She tried to get married to one of her boyfriends that she had only known for 3 months on leap day. Which is fine and all. But it actually isn't, because she wanted to do the same with her boyfriend before that. Meaning that she wanted to get married and she didn't care to whom. She also tries to get a new boyfriend as soon as she can after breaking up with the last one, but still hasn't let go of the last one. It's honestly sad. And I know it's because she doesn't want to be lonely. And I want to help her, but she probably wouldn't listen and would mock me. I mean, what would a dumb, unobservant teenager know? Edit. 1000 karma. You all just got me to 1000 karma. Thank you all so much. I'm not sure how to express my gratitude. But thank every single one of you. Meth. Heroin also springs to mind. Remember that Reddit user that bought some on a whim? Did an AMA about the experience and then ended up going through years of addiction hell. Dying from an OD, then being revived and finally getting clean. Neglecting your own health. Used to think I'm damn near invincible because I'm still young. Worked about 70 hours a week just for that damn raise. Neglected health checkups just because I can. Got diagnosed with glaucoma and my left eye is quite f-ked up. Not sure what the future holds for me, but I'm damn sure taking care of my body now. I read this after I've just been given a month off for a concussion I got a few weeks ago. My natural instinct is to power through it, but then I read this and think my health isn't worth this 9-5 at the end of the day. Not the worst. But procrastination. It becomes a habit really fast, from my experience. Edit. I never stopped procrastinating. Which is something that I hate. Sorry if the comment is a bit misleading, but I don't have any advice on how to stop since I am unable to myself. I'll start exercising tomorrow. I'll clean up later. Double quote. I started saying these things years ago and only recently started running again. Edit. I used to be able to do 300 sit-ups almost every day. Now, I can barely 35, but that's progress from when I could only do 10. Nicotine addiction. As an ER nurse, I met so many people who kicked heroin, meth, benzos, crack, you name it. But the nicotine just couldn't be beat. Eater. For anyone identifying with this, I am in no way disparaging your condition. In fact, after seeing what I have, I am so f***ing proud of you for getting off the hard stuff, because that is one hell of a thing to achieve and maintain. If you're still trying to ditch cigarettes, I really hope you win that fight too and wish you the best. Don't self-medicate with booze and or drugs, the former being my problem for years. Find out the reason why you want to self-medicate in the first place and get the appropriate help guidance. Also, don't self-medicate with food. Never take the path of I know better than everyone else. Double quote. Even the absolute dumbest person can teach you something. Same goes for a person a lot younger than you or someone you can't respect. Always be willing to learn and grow. Living on other people's opinions. I fairly often ask other people's opinion on me cause they can see me more objectively than I can. Edit. I never said I rely on other opinions. I have a certain opinion about myself and the things I do, and by asking others for their opinion on me, I'm checking if I'm right or wrong. I hear their opinion, process it, and decide if I think they're right or wrong. It's certainly better for self-improvement than disregarding anything anyone tells you. At least in my opinion. Spend more than you earn. Got myself into some credit card debt this way. Was afraid to admit to my parents. When I told my dad, he took it much better than I expected, and I'm doing better money-wise. Marrying for money. My mom lives around a sea of housewives who all want to leave their husbands but can't because they've never had a career and wouldn't be able to survive on their own financially. Basically the town I grew up in. Hot trophy wives left and right that only married for money. Not all the moms were gold diggers but a good majority were just living their best life on their rich husband's dime. Shopping. Cars. Fancy brunches with the other trophy wives. It is so very obvious. They would not survive 2 weeks on their own. Toxic friends or family. Offload those people. Life is too short for that kind of stress. This is absolutely true. Don't feel like you have to be the better sibling to people who treat you like garbage. There is a reason so many people live so far away from family members. Living a life based only on the assumptions of someone who feeds on your admiration. Parent. Mentor. Abusive relationship, etc. Joining an MLM. It's a financial disaster unless you are one of the very few people who are in at the beginning or have a large following that will buy what you sell and have proven this already. MLM products are expensive and low quality and the way they make money is predatory and not logically possible for anyone not at the top of the scheme. Don't buy MLM. You are only enabling your friends, family, acquaintances, etc. to stay in this scam for longer and lose more money in the long run if you do. You will not be helping them. Just like you wouldn't give alcohol to an alcoholic. Don't give money to an MLM. No matter who is selling it. Taking the road that's expected of you, marriage, kids, career etc. without contemplating if it's the right thing for you. I always felt impending doom at the thought of having kids and tearing up my vagina, and then one day it clicked and I suddenly realized I don't have to have kids at all. If I don't want to. It was like £1 million weight was taken off me. Plus the added bonus of realizing I'm gay so I'll never have any accidents. Staying with someone you don't love just because you don't want to be alone. Being a chef expecting to be Bobby Flay. Realize it's a lot of hard work. Long hours. Never having a Saturday off. It beats you up. But the feeling when the rush is over and you're drinking a shift drink with your line cooks, who by the way are the most eclectic, funny, criminally minded, insane, smoking, drug dependent, talented, group of misfits in any industry, and you're cleaning up so you can do it all over again tomorrow? There is worse paths I imagine. The path of victimization. To believe everything and everyone around you is to blame. But yourself. Very toxic lifestyle. It can suck the life out of you and leave you with nothing and no one. This is so prevalent right now. In real life and online. Trying to help a lame duck. As someone who's been burned multiple times because of this, I understand the temptation to save a lame duck yourself. You've got a spare bedroom you're not using. You've got some spare cash lying around. And all you want to do is help. It's a natural human response. The problem is, the help that they need has to come from qualified professionals, or a state institution, or even their own family. You're not even remotely qualified to provide that help yourself. All you will be doing is shouldering a financial and emotional burden that will only drag you down with them. Or you will have to cut them loose, which is also painful. Think of it like this. If you found a literal lame duck, you'd take it to a vet, rather than try and fix it yourself. It's the same principle for metaphorical ones. Owning so many big, shiny things like a large house and 2 nice cars, that you have no choice but to toil away at your high-paying, but time-consuming job, which you may not like, at least not for the rest of your career. Yet, you lay awake at night, scared that you might get fired from a job you hate. So you can't pay for the big, shiny things you've started to believe one cannot live without. Going to college just for the experience. Student debt is no joke. I've been thinking about this a lot recently. My parents really want me to go but we certainly can't afford it. As I have other siblings in college too. And I'm still not even sure if it's right for me. Sex for money. Stealing. More than occasional drug use. So hard to stop these things once you've started. Never ever try crack or smack. As a sex worker, I can attest that sex for money is not in the same downtrodden league as stealing and drugs. Some bring you down. Others lift you up. Sex workers have a lot of positive outcomes stemming from their line of work, and many will say it raises their parameters and expectations in traditional civilian relationships. Something from reading this sub we could all use. Those shady friends you hang out with in your mid to late teens who you feel really understand you and got your back. Yeah. Move on to better things. Staying in a marriage after your spouse is caught cheating. Not giving a shit about school. One should consider him herself lucky that they get to attend school and get an opportunity for a higher education. I know many people that either couldn't afford to go to school or didn't care and their lives aren't what they thought they would be. I am currently in high school and until this year I haven't given much of a shit about school. I was one of those kids who thought I could coast along with my natural smarts. I had a kind of a revelation when I realized I won't be able to do what I want to if I don't put my ass into high gear. Now I'm working my ass off trying to learn new things and improve my GPA so that I can get into the school of my dreams. But wish me luck. No matter how boomer this may sound, but just taking in every piece of information you get as true. I laugh at those picture of a mindless generation, but we do need to be careful because as soon as a book says something, we take it as true. Never forget to think for yourself. Looking at grim websites. The number of times you've seen something of that category should remain a single digit. At 10 and beyond. If you're not careful, it's gonna be really difficult to turn back as the emotional impact fades away, leaving nothing left to hold your curiosity. Having kids at a young age. I know I sound shitty, but when I heard a friend was moving on and his girlfriend was pregnant, they are 21, I couldn't help but think how depressing their lives are going to be. Basically they are stuck in the same town they were born, both without a reliable job, so their economical situation is not that good and so on. But having a baby seems to be the best decision. Sorry for broken English. Pornography addiction. You just lose track on how frequent you masturbate. Then you gain the sense of normalcy about it, and that's the indication that you really dug yourself into a hole. Being a teacher in the USA. Maybe it was different and a good career at one point. However, those days are long gone. The long hours and low pay aren't even the worst part. Those are problems many jobs have. The worst parts are the martyrdom. Being treated like crap. I left and am looking into retail again because I was treated better. Isn't that a scary thought? Having everything be your fault. And realizing through it all that the school system doesn't even prioritize actually helping students. Which makes all the prior problems so much more pointless and terrible. Nobody has said the Marines yet, so looks like I'm set for a decent life. If it's a bad career, please someone say something. I do autopsies. 1. Avoid the opioids. 2. Stay away from the fire deaths. 3. Wear life vests and seatbelts. 4. Don't walk around on the expressway. 5. Seriously. Chill on the opioids. I know this isn't a healthy relationship, but at least I found someone. I ignored so many warning signs over the years. Over half my life with the same woman. After our son was born, our relationship changed. I was too busy supporting the family through 50-60 hours weeks. I didn't pay attention to all the changes. I didn't see until it was too late how bad her drinking became. When she hit 38, it's like a light switch flipped. Went from passively aggressive bitchiness to full-on alcoholic narcissistic abuser. And I just let it happen. I didn't try to stop her. Just tried to maintain the everything is fine mentality. I wouldn't wish what I went through on anyone. Please. Don't do what I did. Don't just settle if you're being hurt. Might get flack for this, but being a sugar baby. I've known quite a few people who found they could live comfortably just using their appearance. Every one of them has ended up with serious issues later in life. They end up coasting through the phase where they should have been setting themselves up to be self-sufficient. Then once their appearance fades, they find themselves competing against high school kids for minimum wage. Not to mention the psychological toll from the lifestyle. Now with the rise of things like OnlyFans, I think a lot of young people are gonna end up in this basket. Teen pregnancy is one of the easiest ways to enter poverty. If someone in your life is at risk of becoming a teen parent, please try to support them as much as you can and see if you can change their life. Abortion, adoption, and overall family planning are so important in order to avoid lifelong poverty that can affect generations. Never putting in effort. Taking the easy way because it's safe. Get out of your comfort zone. Impress yourself. Even if you made a bad financial decision, you will overcome it. You'll be used to being uncomfortable. Self-harm. I started when I was 11 and I'm still doing it at 25. I know it's bad and wrong and gross, but at this point it's such an entrenched part of my identity that I don't know who I am without it. All that said, 19 days clean, y'all. Bless up, yo. Before you have sex with anyone, think about the worst case scenario. I have a son with a woman that I don't want to have any association with. I have to live with that for the rest of my life. Luckily, she abandoned him a few years ago and we haven't seen her in almost 10 years. But it still really sucks for him.